Good afternoon, Hobo Nation. Welcome to Sunburn City. It's the HWA, the Hobo Wrestling Alliance House Show, Season 1, Episode 13, coming to you live and in living color from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Beautiful snowy city. I do not want to be in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I, in fact, miss Sunburn City tremendously because it's not fucking 10 degrees. And that's what I miss. I miss it not being 10 degrees, Hobo Nation. But enough of that jazz. We have a great house show for you folks today. A 4-match card featuring our current HWA Hardcore Champion, J-Flies, the Falcon himself, going up against Hardcore Joe Johnson. Now, let me give you guys a little backstory here. J-Flies won the Hardcore Championship a couple of days ago. Successfully defended it twice, I believe. Most recently against Baron Corbin in a backstage brawl where he pretty much sidelined Baron Corbin with a severe neck injury for the time being. So we're not going to be seeing the Lone Wolf for some time. But the man that the Falcon J-Flies put down in the hardcore tournament in the finals to win the prestigious Hobo Wrestling Alliance HWA Hardcore Championship was the man to his right. That's right, the hardcore icon himself, Hardcore Joe Johnson, and he wants retribution. He has officially challenged J-Flies to a one-on-one Ironman match, which we are bringing to you live in living color today in the Hobo Wrestling Alliance. Whoa, my mind's blown already. Things are happening. Holy shiitake mushrooms. And if that wasn't enough of a reason to stick around and watch this crazy-ass show, this next match will have you not on the edge of your seat, but on the edge of your neighbor's seat as well. And that's Snoop Dogg. That's right, honkies. Snoop Dogg is making his Hobo Wrestling Alliance debut officially today. Tonight, here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Sunburn City, brings you Snoop Dogg versus Dolph Ziggler. I don't know if the Ziggs can pull this one off. My money right here is on the Snoops. My money is on Snoop Dogg, mainly because when I follow him on Instagram, it's just, why have television? I stopped paying my cable bill. I'd rather watch Snoop Dogg live stream on Instagram. And if you're not following him on Instagram, you should find out that information ASAP, Hobo Nation, and tell him Sunburn City sent you. Next, after this crazy ass match, there's even more crazy ass matches. Wait, watch this crazy match. It's a tag team match. That's right. And this match, let me explain to you why this match is so important for the HWA tag team division. On one side you have the Shield, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. It's going to be 2-on-2 tonight, but Roman Reigns will be at ringside. But the main story here, Hobo Nation, is Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are the number one contenders to the HWA Tag Team Championships. Officially, as of today's rankings, they are the number one contenders, and they're going up against the number 5 contender, Rated RKO. And now, it's not that Rated RKO has been performing ill. That's not it. It's fucking Randy Orton and Edge. You know that they are not a shitty team. It's Rated RKO. But they're relatively new here in the Hobo Wrestling Alliance. The Shield been here since the top. And I'm going to put it down like this. Two of my favorite teams in the HWA Tag Team Division going head-to-head, the number 1 contenders versus the number 5 contenders. Now, if Rated RKO can pull out a victory here, which they're extremely capable of doing, how far up will they move in the power rankings for next week, and how far down will the Shield slide? Will they still be able to challenge American Alpha for the HWA Tag Team titles? Who the hell knows? I'm kind of crazy, and I might do anything. Now, for the main event. Now, I wanted something special for this house show. I don't know why. It's the day after the world lost Stephen Hawkins. So, I feel like we need an earth-shattering match of epic proportions, and that match is a submission match between Rusev and Samoa Joe. There's nobody at ringside. I'm not allowed. I'm barring everyone from ringside. Aiden English, Lana, both barred from ringside. Let's face it, nobody's going to be in the corner of Samoa Joe except for that crazy white towel. And if I tell him to leave his friend Towley in the back, he might put me in some crazy submission hold, and I just don't want to crap my pants before the show ends, okay? Not before the show ends. After the show ends, you know, anything is possible. All right, Hobo Nation, let's keep it moving. Enough with all this hype. Enough with the hype. Let's keep the action moving. Starting the show, HWA House Show, Season 1, Episode 13, kicking it off with an Ironman match for the HWA Hardcore title. Hardcore Joe Johnson knocking on the door of the Falcon, demanding a rematch from their finals of the HWA Hardcore tournament. And I'll tell you this, Hardcore Joe is not named Hardcore Joe for nothing. He's the hardcore icon. The guy invented hardcore. He and Cactus Jack have had epic matches already here in the HWA. And it's my fault for not recording those house shows before. And I apologize, but Cactus Jack is out of action because of Hardcore Joe Johnson. So he's been sidelined with an injury as of house show number 4. So they tangled in house show 1 and 3, and then 4. Cactus Jack ran out in the middle of one of Hardcore Joe Johnson's matches, and that was all she wrote. Joe saw him and just DDT'd his ugly punk ass on a table, and that was it. That announce table had just never saw the light of day again. And Cactus Jack's been out of action ever since, and Hardcore Joe Johnson is desperate to defeat the Falcon and gain the official notoriety of as the hardcore icon by grabbing the HWA Hardcore Championship. But can he do it, Hobo Nation? I don't know. Jay Flies has been just such an effective hardcore champion. The guy's got all the moves. And here's our match. We're going to start it off with the Ironman match. Hardcore Joe Johnson versus Jay Flies. Then we're going to get a little Snoop Dogg debut versus the Ziggs. Versus Dolph Ziggler. I call him the Ziggs, and I hope he doesn't get pissed off. So it's Snoop Dogg versus the Ziggs. I like calling him the Ziggs. I don't care if he does get pissed off. Then, oh, wait a minute. Nope. Then number 1 contender to the tag titles, The Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will be taking on Edge and Randy Orton, rated RKO. And then our main event tonight, a one-on-one submission match between the Samoa submission machine, Samoa Joe and Rusev, everybody's favorite day of the week. So let's keep the action moving. Hardcore title up for grabs next.
The championship is up for grabs. Coming up next, we have a real fan favorite versus a formidable opponent.
I really hope that Hardcore Joe Johnson brings it, because I don't think he's going to get another shot. And in an Iron Man match, if you're not familiar with the rules, it's basically the competitor who can gain the most victories over X amount of time wins the match. So that's why it's called an Iron Man match. My money's on, I don't know. I always bet on the champions. I always take the champions advantage. What do you guys think? Do you think the hardcore champion actually has an advantage? Leave me comments in the comment section of YouTube or Discord. I'm curious. It would be great if Jay Flies retains the title here. He'll have to defend it again on Saturday, as the hardcore title must be defended every 48 hours. That is the law here in the HWA. If you are the HWA hardcore champion, you must defend your title every 48 hours at minimum. And Jay Flies has been to the letter with that. Oh, and already starting the match with a kick and taking it to Big Joe Johnson. And Hardcore Joe is expecting a little bit more offense off the gate. And there he goes. Jay Flies vicious knees to the chest of Hardcore Joe. And there's that quickness and agility. And that corkscrew moonsault. Wow, J-Fly is wasting no time, taking the battle right to Hardcore Joe, and there Joe showing a little bit more of his power. Oh, a big pickup gut buster. A nice gut buster, slowing the pace down on J-Fly's, but J-Fly's with that leaping enziguri kick. What a great maneuver. He might have shocked Johnson here. 1, and Johnson's up at 1. We got a 15-minute time limit on the Ironman match. You can see the clock in the top right-hand corner. So the player that can get the most pinfalls or submissions on their opponent within 15 minutes will win the HWA Hardcore Championship. Will it be the current champion, J-Flies, who is now on the top rope, coming down with a leaping elbow smash onto the chest of Hardcore Joe? And Joe is not looking good in this match at all. Jay is just taking it to the challenger. Hardcore Joe Johnson, a veteran, many years in the ring. One of the first people drafted into the HWA now. A big upside slam, a big sidewalk slam there from Hardcore Joe Johnson. And their finals of the Hardcore Championship, these two men met to an epic battle for the HWA Hardcore title, much like the one they're having now. And J-Flies was able to defeat Hardcore Joe Johnson then. So far, 13 minutes into the Ironman match, this day. Oh, and a big clothesline taking Joe Johnson out of the ring. Is J-Flies the champ? So far, no pinfalls, no submissions in the match. It's 0-0, and J-Flies on the top rope, going for something high risk. Going for something high risk on the outside. Will it pay off? And it does pay off. It pays huge dividends, Hobo Nation. Did you guys see that freaking maneuver? Holy shiitake mushrooms. Holy shiitake mushrooms. A leaping side kick off of the top rope. Off of the top rope of the ring onto the floor. Hitting Joe Johnson right in the side of the head, and a giant bicycle kick to the back of the head of Joe Johnson. Stomping away is the HWA Hardcore Champion J-Flies, and Johnson is not looking good here. And another, a big swanton bomb there on Hardcore Joe Johnson, and J-Flies going for the first cover. 1, will he get him here? And no, he does not get it. That is still not enough to put down Hardcore Joe Johnson for even 1 fall. J-Flies now going back to the top. What's he going to do here? Johnson now trying to mount a little bit of offense. Still feeling some effects of that big offense. Oh, wow. A double knee face buster off the top rope. And J-Flies proving why he is worthy to hold the Hardcore title. Proving why he is, in fact, the Hardcore champion. But Hardcore Joe coming back with that thundering DDT, rocking the champion. Hardcore Joe's been on a good streak of late, winning a couple of tag team matches. The last tag team match Hardcore Joe was in, he was teamed up with the Intercontinental Champion Rip Nichols, and he and Rip Nichols really took it to Rusev and Aiden English. I don't know why those two guys wanted to challenge the IC champ and then the King of Hardcore, but they did, and they were sorry. An Irish whip into the corner. Face first goes the Hardcore champion, J-Flies. And a big stomp. Nice block. A wicked block there. And now Hardcore Joe showing his experience on the smaller J-Flies with that belly-to-back suplex. And oh my God. I'm surprised he's still conscious after that giant right hand by Hardcore Joe Johnson. No high flying, no fancy moves here from Hardcore Joe. Just straight punches, kicks, and the will to be the Hardcore champion. And a running knee to the face. A running knee to the face onto the Hardcore champion. And Johnson going for the pin here too. And Flies able to kick out here. So far we're 0-0 in this 15-minute Ironman match. What's Hardcore Joe setting him up for something here? J-Flies is woozy. That DDT and that big knee took him out. And he's going for that. He's going for that pile driver. There's that sit-down pile driver. That could be all she wrote here. Will it be the first fall? Johnson. Oh, no. No, the Hardcore champion J-Flies kicks out of that big sit-down pile driver at the last minute. Wow, what a show here by the Hardcore champion, and Hardcore Joe Johnson showing his frustration wrenching the neck of the Hardcore Champion in that stunning neck vice. And Jay Flies showing us why he is the Hardcore Champion and why winning the title was not a fluke. He did defeat Hardcore Joe in the finals of that match. Now, a little showboating there from Jay Flies. The Falcon needs to pick up the pace a little bit against Hardcore Joe. You don't want Joe getting any type of stamina back. And oh, a submission move here. He's got him in the Rings of Saturn. That's the Rings of Saturn. He made Hardcore Joe tap out to this in the finals of the Hardcore Championship tournament, and Joe fighting. Joe's still fighting, and he's able to break out. He's able to break out of the move. Wow, that's just going to take its toll there. I don't see how he's going to kick out of whatever this is. And a corkscrew moonsault, and he cradles up Johnson, and the first fall of the match goes to Jay Flies now, 1-0. And what is Hardcore Joe doing? Wow, he's busted open the champion. And now Joe opening it up, showing his frustration here. He might have him. He might have rocked the champion with that little flurry there, but no, it's not enough to put Jay Flies down. But Jay Flies is busted open, now up in this Ironman match, 1-0 against the Hardcore icon, the challenger, Joe Johnson. The snapmare takedown, and Joe is frustrated. Big kicks to the back there on the Hardcore Champion, the Falcon. Jay Flies, and Flies pausing that kick, and now a belly to belly into the bottom turnbuckle. Joe's head hit the bottom turnbuckle. Oh, he might be out on his feet here. Jay Flies now dragging the challenger, the snapmare, in the middle of the ring, and another kick to the lungs of big Hardcore Joe Johnson. And the champion, Jay Flies, just rocking the challenger here. Big stomps, another stomp, wearing down the challenger's body here. Oh, a stomp to the face. He's wearing cowboy boots. I'm sorry, he's wearing biker boots. Those biker boots are not like wrestling boots. There's no give on them. It's just hard leather. Well, if they don't have a steel toe to them, you never know in a hardcore match. But Joe now mounting some offense. An Irish whip. You can tell Joe's tired. He's moving a bit slower, sticking to some basic offense here. And Joe had a steam and a knee right to the jaw of the Falcon. And Joe now, what's he setting the Falcon up for here? Jay Flies definitely rocked after that knee to the jaw, and another sit-down pile driver. A jumping sit-down pile driver on the Hardcore Champion. And Joe Johnson now going for a cover on Jay Flies. 1, 2, no, and the champion kicks out. The champion kicks out. It is still 1-0 in this Ironman match for the Hardcore title. And Jay Flies kicking out of a second sit-down pile driver. Incredible show here by the champion. And the champion now busting the challenger open with that sit-down face buster. Both men bleeding, both men tired. Jay Flies, the Falcon, with a leaping moonsault onto the challenger, Joe Johnson. What a moonsault by the Hardcore Champion. Johnson now just laying there, taking knees to the back. Those Rings of Saturn did a lot of damage to Joe Johnson. He still hasn't been able to recover except for that little flurry of straight violence that he had. He just wanted to open up a can of frustrated whoop ass on the Falcon. And now the Falcon showboating like a wanker. Why are you showboating? Don't showboat. You're up 1-0. Make it 2-0. And Johnson now taking advantage of the few seconds of showboating with a knee lift to the jaw. And it looks like it caught Jay Flies right. Oh, but not enough to put down a fall. It did look like it caught him off guard there. Maybe it knocked him out for a second, but still not enough. And Johnson now running back and forth for a big stomp. And Johnson now, his frustration is evident all over his actions, all over his face, and a back headbutt right to the head of Joe Johnson. And Jay Flies, another leaping bicycle kick. Oh, Joe's out. Oh, Joe is out. Jay Flies trying to make this 2-0 on this Ironman match with 5 minutes to go, and the ref's down 1. 2, and Joe kicks out. Joe showing heart and determination to take that hardcore title from Jay Flies, kicking out at 2. And now rights, just nothing pretty there, nothing high flying about those endless right hands by Jay Flies. And Flies now going for a power bomb, a jackknife power bomb, rolled him up, 1, 2, and Joe now turned into a Boston Crab. It's been turned into a Boston Crab. And Joe taps again. Joe taps to the Boston Crab jackknife. And now it's 2-0. And Joe again busted and frustrated. A sit-down jawbuster. And another sit-down facebuster there, knocking Big Joe Johnson down. And it's down 2-0. The champion up 2-0 on the challenger. Both men bloodied, both men tired. We got under 4 minutes to go in this Ironman match. And a great tornado DDT off the middle turnbuckle. What a move by the hardcore champion. What a move by Jay Flies. Taking it to hardcore Joe Johnson here. Rolling him up. 2, no, just a 1 count. And Joe kicking out. Joe needs to get a fall down under his belt here. Jay Flies has so much stamina, so much physical ability. It's the kid is a natural. He's just been a winning hardcore champion. And right now, he's showboating in the ring on how many laps he can do in the corner. I don't know what happened. What's going here? A big bicycle kick. Another big bicycle kick. Right to the back of the neck of hardcore Joe Johnson. And Johnson now 2 wrist locks and wrenching that shoulder. And a reversal here. Reverse neck breaker. A reverse neck breaker by the champion. And the champion going to the top turnbuckle. What's he doing here? What's Jay Flies doing here? And a swanton bomb. A swanton dive on hardcore Joe. And the champion going for a 3rd fall here. 2, 3, he's got 3-0 in this Ironman match. The hardcore champion is 3-0 in this Ironman challenge. And hardcore Joe Johnson and the Falcon, Jay Flies, having one hell of a match. Hardcore Joe is down 3-0, and Joe going for that running knee right to the face of Jay Flies. And he's just, I don't think he cares about winning any falls right now. He's just beating the living hell out of the hardcore champion is hardcore Joe Johnson. And Johnson now going for that, that giant DDT. He needs a cover, but Johnson is hurt too. Johnson has been hurt very badly in this match. Can he get a fall down on the champion? He can't go for the pin. He's going for the cover. It may be too late here. 1, 2, 3. No, he kicked out at 2, and the champion kicked out at 2. Joe just took way too much time. Way too much time after that butterfly DDT. He could not get a pinfall on the champion. We got under 2 minutes here. And Jay Flies now. Oh, going for a tornado-like small package. And Joe able to kick out of that move. That was a nice, slick little move there, Big Daddy. Johnson with an arm drag here. Under 2 minutes, and the champion's going to roll out and buy himself a little bit of time here. It's 3-0. The champion is pretty much has this match won, but he's just not going to lay down and stay away from Joe. They're still taking it to each other right here on the outside. And Johnson now draped over the apron, a big elbow smash to the challenger. And the champion showboating a little bit on the outside. He knows he pretty much has this match in the bag. This Ironman match with 3-0. Oh, and a thundering elbow smash to the knee. And Joe with an Irish whip in the corner. And running knee lift in the champion. And the champion's down in the bottom turnbuckle. And Joe's going for another running knee to the face. Another knee to the face. He's got 30 seconds. Can Joe take at least one fall here? And a big gut buster. He picks the champion up in a giant thundering gut buster. It's still 3-0. Joe did not take any falls in this Ironman match. And a DDT. A DDT on the challenger. The champion's got 7 seconds. Will he try to go for a pin here? He will.
Can he do it here?
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The winner and still hardcore champion is Jay Flies, the Falcon Jay Flies, taking this Iron Man match 3-0 from Hardcore Joe Johnson. And Hardcore Joe, a great showing by both men, but Hardcore Joe not able to take any falls away from the reigning HWA Hardcore Champion, and the Falcon showing us why he is in fact the Hardcore Champion. Great match, great performance by both men. What a corkscrew moonsault that was. Cradled him up there for one fall, and there he is, and still the HWA Hardcore Champion. There he is, the Falcon J Flies, still the HWA Hardcore Champion. What a fantastic match. Great performance by both men. Congratulations to J Fly, successfully defending your HWA Hardcore Championship against Hardcore Joe Johnson. We hope Joe's alright. We saw him getting helped to the back by the medical team. We'll have an update on his condition later on in the afternoon, but right now we have one hell of a match planned for you, Hobo Nation, and that's the debuting Snoop Dogg. Oh yeah, against the Ziggs, my man Dolph Ziggler, the man without a plan. And I mean, you know, the WWE 2K18 game is great. There's one thing, there are many things I have to bitch about actually, but one thing in particular is the fact that Dolph Ziggler doesn't have hot pink tights. Why is there no hot pink tight set for the Ziggs? Come on, guys. I want some hot pink tights for the Ziggs, alright? Anybody listening out there, if you can make me some hot pink tights for the Ziggs, I will make sure he wears them, and I will give you a 1-month subscription to Sunburn City Live on Twitch. Okay, enough with the hype. Let's keep the action moving. Snoop Dogg, Dolph Ziggler up next. And the bell rings, and we're officially underway for the debut of Snoop Dogg, locking it up with Dolph Ziggler, forcing the Ziggs into the corner. I wonder what's going through Dolph Ziggler's mind right now. I want a clean break here by the Snoopster. And there he is, Snoop Dogg showing, ooh, a snap suplex. A snap suplex by Snoop. And Snoop pounding away on Dolph Ziggler. And Ziggler's looking a little surprised at the quickness and athleticism of Snoop Dogg. And another snap suplex on Dolph Ziggler by Snoop Dogg. Dolph's getting manhandled by Snoop Dogg, and Snoop's picking Dolph up, picking the pace up, and Dolph now showing his veteranness, stopping that move there, and going for a face buster. There's a nice dropping face buster by Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler, a great star, one of the first people I made sure to recruit here in the HWA. I wanted him to win the TV title when the TV title tournament was going down, but it was in fact Eddie Guerrero who picked up that win. And right now Ziggler is trying to make his way up that mountain, and oh, what a great move there by Snoop Dogg, tying Ziggler up in a gut-wrench suplex from the bottom, showing his power, showing his athleticism. Is Snoop Dogg now climbing to the top rope here? What's Snoop doing here? And a giant elbow smash to the chest of the Ziggs. My man Dolph Ziggler, one of the top contenders to the HWA Intercontinental title right now, is Dolph Ziggler. And Snoop Dogg having a great debut here against Ziggler, and a reverse elbow by the veteran, and another reverse elbow by Ziggler. And Ziggler now going for that slow-mo swinging neck breaker, a sexy neck breaker there. And he's going for the cover here, but no, Ziggler being a little bit too cocky here, and that might cost Dolph Ziggler the match there. He should have kept going, because it looked like he may have gotten Snoop Dogg with a pin there. And now a follow-away go-behind by Dolph Ziggler. That's kind of making fun of the couple of moves that Snoop Dogg was mounting, but Snoop Dogg moving out of the way of that elbow smash, and Ziggler now reversing, and a fireman's carry slam, a fireman's carry takedown by Dolph Ziggler on Snoop Dogg, and those elbow smash into the head scissors. Snoop Dogg in a little bit of a bad way here. Hope he wasn't too stoned when he came out here. One, the HWA does not have a wellness policy when it comes to cannabis. Everything else will get you banned, but cannabis is okay as long as you're not wrestling stoned. I don't know if you... Oh! And a great move there. Great move there by Snoop Dogg. It's a running jackknife. Oh, and a frog splash. But he kicked the referee. He accidentally kicked the referee when he came down, and the ref is down after that big jumping frog splash by Snoop Dogg off the top rope. What athleticism. He would have had Ziggler there, but he wisely decided to keep working on Ziggler instead of going for the pin, knowing the ref was down. It's an unfortunate series of events for the debuting Snoop Dogg. Dolph Ziggler now in a bad way, and Ziggler with a fireman's carry takedown there on Snoop Dogg, showing his veteran moves there is the Zigster, and Ziggs with a fireman's carry. What's he gonna do here? Draping Snoop Dogg over the top rope, showing a little vicious streak here is Dolph Ziggler. As I was mentioning before, Dolph Ziggler's been a little bit frustrated lately, racking up a few losses, dropping himself in the rankings, and pretty much out of the top 15 contender spot for the HWA Twitch World TV Championship, but definitely in the running for the IC title. And another jackknife, slowing the momentum down of Dolph Ziggler, and Snoop Dogg showboating a little bit, getting the crowd to get hyped. And Hobo Nation, I'm hyped that Snoop Dogg is doing so good and debuting successfully so far here in the Hobo Wrestling Alliance. Great to have everybody join us in the HWA House Show Season 1, Episode 13, lucky number 13. Will it be lucky number 13 for Snoop Dogg? Dolph Ziggler so far, unlucky number 13, and blocking that hand and coming back with mounting some offense of his own, and a tornado DDT. Planting Snoop Dogg is Ziggler. He might have him here. 1, 2, and nope. Snoopalicious able to kick out at 2, but Snoop's hurt. Snoop Dogg is a hurt. It hurt. And Ziggler now, the snapmare takedown, doing a little work on Snoop Dogg's neck after that big DDT and a couple of running slams. Ziggler's definitely been trying to focus on the neck of Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg now feeling the hype from the crowd, feeling the hype from Hobo Nation, and Ziggler pausing that hype dead in its track and dropping him down for a snake eyes over the top rope. Ziggler not short of maneuvers, not short of viciousness, rubbing that forearm, going for the pin, but Snoop up at 1. Not enough to put Snoop Dogg away is that snake eyes move from Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler now stomping away at the swell of the back of a debuting Snoop Dogg, and Snoop with an arm drag counter on Ziggler. Nice counter there. And Snoop Dogg going for a big vertical suplex. A nice paused vertical suplex there from Snoop Dogg, showing his strength and athleticism, and going for a... Oh, Ziggler slid out, and a kick to the knee of Snoop Dogg. Snoop blocking that right. And a nice jackknife reversal there, stopping Ziggler in his tracks, and Ziggler kicking out before the ref can even drop himself down to count to half. And a kick to the lungs by Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg always jealous of people with better lungs than he. Just saying. Ziggler now Irish whip into the corner. The Zigster making a little lefty left, a little right, and the zigzag. He got Snoop with the zigzag. Oh, this could be it. 1, 2, it's 3. Dolph Ziggler has defeated a debuting Snoop Dogg. Congratulations to Dolph Ziggler taking down Snoop Dogg with that zigzag out of nowhere. And there's a great running jackknife by Snoop Dogg. And here's the move, I think, that cost him the match. That frog splash ended up hitting the referee and knocking him down. I think if the ref was up, Snoop Dogg would have definitely won this match. But Ziggler able to hit that zigzag out of nowhere and taking this match from the debuting Snoop Dogg. Sorry about that, Snoopalicious. But the Zigster just took that victory. Dolph Ziggler proving and showing why he was recruited, one of the top recruits for Hobo Wrestling Alliance, the HWA. One of our first recruits there was Dolph Ziggler, and now definitely going to be moving up in the power rankings. Iggs the Zigster, maybe making a run towards the Intercontinental Champion. The Intercontinental Championship currently held by the Nightmare Rip Nichols. And he won a great hard-fought Intercontinental Championship tournament to become the champ. And here we are, Dolph Ziggler, the victor, defeating a debuting Snoop Dogg. Look at that. Dolph Ziggler officially the #1 contender now to the HWA Intercontinental Championship. Officially after that win. Congratulations to you, Dolph Ziggler, and good luck if you ever decide to challenge the Nightmare Rip Nichols. Congratulations to you, Dolphy. Up next, we got tag team action, Hobo Nation. And I personally have been waiting for this because I love Rated RKO. And it's going to be 2-on-2 tag team action here. The Shield with Roman Reigns in the corner, Rollins and Ambrose versus Edge and Randy Orton. Rated RKO. I don't know what I would do if somebody was actually taking IRL bets on this match. I don't know who I would bet on. Who would you guys bet on in this match? Alright, leave comments, let me know. Would you bet on the Shield or would you bet on Rated RKO? You know, as of right now, in the HWA, as the standings stand, the Shield are the #1 contenders to the HWA Tag Team Championship, currently held by my favorite tag team, American Alpha, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. And Rated RKO has been together a handful of times, a handful of matches only under their belt here in Hobo Nation. In the HWA, they're the #5 contenders, but what happens if they beat the #1 contenders? Holy shiitake mushrooms. The possibilities are endless, but enough with the hype. Let's keep the action moving, Hobo Nation. And we got action underway. Rollins starting off with the Rated R Superstar Edge, and a jackknife taking down the Rated R Superstar, and Rollins already going to work on that injured arm of Edge. Rollins and Ambrose have been working so well together as a team. They've plowed through every tag team here pretty much in the HWA except for Rated RKO, and maybe the Hart Foundation and the returning Hardy Boys are pretty much the only ones that I think that the Shield have not faced at one point or another in the HWA. And Edge now finding out exactly why Seth Rollins is the badass Seth Rollins. That's what I like to call him, the badass Seth Rollins. But the Rated R Superstar with a leg sweep there, stalking Seth Rollins. And Rollins with an Irish whip in his own corner here. And Edge looking a little tired. And Rollins now coming down with big right hands onto the top of the head of Edge, who's pretty much trapped in that corner with the Shield. And Edge rolling on the outside, pausing the momentum of Seth Rollins, and Rollins now taken by surprise, and Edge coming through, both men shoulder tackling, evenly matched up when it comes to strength. That's not true. Seth Rollins, another Irish whip and a leaping punch to the face of Edge. That big square jaw of Edge has a huge target painted on it. And an arm drag there, slowing the pace down. Edge trying to drop the pace of the match. Maybe going to make a tag here to his partner. No, Edge wanting a piece of Seth Rollins all to himself. A clubbing right and a reverse DDT. A reverse DDT there by Edge. Remnants of the execution there. And now the Viper tagged in. Randy Orton taking a fight to Seth Rollins. Rollins and Orton, no love lost there, and repeated headshots into the turnbuckle. Randy Orton taking the fight to Seth Rollins. Good Lord. Rollins needs to tag in the Maniac, Dean Ambrose, and now stretching that hamstring. is the Viper, working on the different body parts. Randy likes to soften his opponents up, and that wrist lock there to a shoulder tackle from Seth Rollins, knocking the Viper down, allowing Ambrose into the match. And now it's the Maniac versus the Viper, and a tornado DDT, no, blocked by Ambrose into a Northern Lights bridge. Great counter by Dean Ambrose. It's something a lot of folks would not expect from this lunatic psychopath pounding the shit out of Randy Orton right now, but he is not just a lunatic psychopath. The honky can wrestle, and he's showing you here why the Shield are the #1 contenders to the HWA tag titles. There's a little vicious streak and a whole lot of kick your ass in Dean Ambrose, and he's dragging the Viper back to his corner, tagging in Rollins. They're probably going to keep the pace up here, tagging each other in and out swiftly. And an arm drag by the Viper, slowing the pace down again on Rollins. Oh, and a giant European uppercut. And Rollins now with a face lock, and the Viper fighting his way out of that front face lock, and a running clothesline by the Viper on Seth Rollins, and Rollins is rocked here. Randy Orton just going to keep on putting the hurt on that neck and shoulder of Seth Rollins, stomping away that reverse DDT before this family stomp here, the Orton stomp. Wow. Just pounding the hell out of Rollins, and Rollins now with a Northern Light bridge of his own, and Randy kicking out almost immediately. That's not going to be enough to put the Viper away, but Seth Rollins, you got to admire the guys for trying, and they win matches because they try crazy shit like that. And a running enziguri. A running enziguri. Holy shiitake mushrooms, Hobo Nation. A running enziguri on the Viper, and Orton is stunned. Orton is stunned and down, and now Rollins is on the top rope. And Rollins now trying to motivate the Viper to get up. Oh my gosh, this does not bode well. What's going to happen here? And an RKO out of nowhere. An RKO out of nowhere on Seth Rollins by Randy Orton. Holy shiitake mushrooms, Hobo Nation. An RKO out of nowhere. And he's going for it. He may have him here. One. And Ambrose interrupting the count. Ambrose interrupting the count out of that after that RKO from out of nowhere. Holy shiitake mushrooms. And now the Viper dragging Ambrose in, and he's draping Ambrose over the middle rope, and a neck breaker from the middle rope on Dean Ambrose. And Rollins and Ambrose are learning why the Viper and Edge are so dangerous. Rated RKO. Taking it to the Shield, a swinging neck breaker, remnants of Ravishing Rick Rude there. Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere, and Seth Rollins is down. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are down. Edge now showboating a little bit. Randy on an arm drag there on Edge. They better not waste this opportunity. And a short man DDT. A short man DDT on Edge, stunning the Rated R Superstar. Now Rollins trying to mount a comeback, and there you go. There you go. Edge smacking the ears together, causing that vertigo, that temporary vertigo, and a leaping DDT. A leaping face first DDT. Edge stomping the face of Rollins. Wow, Rollins is taking an incredible amount of punishment in this match, and I think Rollins is busted open. Seth Rollins is busted open. A fireman's carry by the Rated R Superstar, and a flapjack. A big flapjack to the center of the ring, and Rollins crawling and leaps to Dean Ambrose, and Edge is allowed a tag, and the Maniac in, but Edge seems to have scouted that and pauses that flurry from Dean Ambrose with a giant elbow to the swallow of the neck, and a belly-to-back suplex on Dean Ambrose by the Rated R Superstar. And Rated RKO was slow to start, but they are really taking the fight to the Shield. And another big belly-to-back suplex here on Dean Ambrose, and a stomp to the hand. And Edge showing his vicious streak again as the Rated R Superstar scooping Ambrose up, and Ambrose sliding out and reversing it with a neck breaker and hitting Edge with a neck breaker. And Ambrose now stomping away with those biker boots, punching the back and the traps of the Rated R Superstar. Man, what a match. Dean Ambrose Now with a wrist lock is Edge and a forearm, and Ambrose clubbing clothesline, a clubbing clothesline. A great reversal there by Dean Ambrose, and a shoulder tackle by Edge, slowing that little bit of momentum that Dean Ambrose built up. And Edge now, another face buster, another kind of modified Russian leg sweep into a face buster, and Edge now calling for a spear. If he hits this, I don't see how he's going to get up. And a spear on Dean Ambrose. No! Dean Ambrose reversed it into a DDT. Dean Ambrose reversed the spear into a DDT. Holy shiitake mushrooms. Hobo Nation, what the hell is happening here? What the hell is happening here? Get him, Dean Ambrose. And Edge is down and hurt. And Rollins is busted open. Oh, I don't know what that move is called, but the maniac Dean Ambrose is not short of creative moves to kick your ass with. He's going for a fishhook suplex here. Nice overhead fishhook suplex on the Rated R Superstar, and it looks like Dean Ambrose may be setting him up for the dirty deeds. Can he get it? And he's setting Edge up for the dirty deeds. It's the dirty deeds on the Rated R Superstar. And he's going to get him here. And Orton breaks up the count. Orton saving Edge from a humiliating loss there by Dean Ambrose hitting the dirty deeds on the Rated R Superstar. And now a back body drop by Edge. I guess Edge was smart enough to keep himself close enough to Randy Orton so Randy could save his punk ass. And now Dean Ambrose, another face jack flap thingamajigger. Edge and all his weird moves. I'm going to have to look them up. Sorry, Hobo Nation. Not exactly sure what all those moves are called. I know that's another dirty deeds. Another dirty deeds on the Rated R Superstar. And Orton better get in there. 2, 3, and that's it. Your win. Oh, Rated RKO been defeated. It was just all of a sudden Dean Ambrose locked Edge into the second dirty deeds, and that's all she wrote. And Rated RKO, what a showing here, putting the hurt on the Shield. I think a little bit of Edge's showboating really caused Rated RKO to go down in flames here. He should have tagged out when he had the chance, and here was a second dirty deeds on Edge, and that was it. This is right here is a second dirty deeds on the Rated R Superstar. Caught completely by surprise, and the Shield remain the #1 contenders to the HWA Tag Team Championships. Everybody see, was it just me, or did you guys just see Roman Reigns do kind of like a chick celebration? Didn't it look like he sashayed? Look, there he is again. You got to see that. He's sashayed. Roman Reigns just sashayed into a victory dance. All right. Anyway, Hobo Nation, welcome to the HWA House Show Season 1, episode lucky number 13. This was a great tag team match. Congratulations to the Shield, taking one away from Rated RKO and remaining the #1 contenders to the HWA Tag Team titles. Up next, we got our main event for this day's beautiful day. I have to say, I'm looking outside and it's just bright blue skies here in Sunburn City and in Colorado Springs, Colorado. What a great place to be, a great time to be alive. Welcome to the HWA Season 1, Episode 13. This is our main event of our house show today. It is a submission match. That's right. I decided, Hobo Nation, that Sunburn City's house shows have to have at least a teensy-weensy bit of variety. It can't just always be the regular matches, waiting for the main event to have all the crazy matches. So I decided every now and again I will shuffle in one wild match, and this is that wild match. And this is a submission match between the Samoan submission machine Samoa Joe and everybody's favorite day of the week, Rusev Day. I don't know who to put my beatniks on here, Hobo Nation, but if I was a betting hobo, which I am a betting hobo, Sunburn City would definitely put their beatniks down on Samoa Joe. And I'm sorry, Rusev Day, but my beatniks are down on Samoa Joe. But enough with the hype. Let's keep the action moving. And our main event is underway, and Rusev wasted no time already trying to show Joe his dominant fighting spirit with that big sidewalk slam and elbow smashes to the traps and shoulders of Samoa Joe. Remember, Samoa Joe fresh off an injury, back here in the HWA. Also one of the first draftees, as was Rusev, into the Hobo Wrestling Alliance. And Joe now going to work on the arm and shoulder and pec. We all know what that's for. And Samoa Joe, not short of creative ways to kick your ass. And Rusev taking Samoa Joe over the top rope with that clubbing clothesline. And Rusev and the Samoan submission machine now outside. No give out there. What's happening here? Rusev flopping Samoa Joe over and dropping a giant thundering elbow to the left arm of Joe, right on that bicep. Rusev could have torn Joe's bicep right there. It's definitely going to weaken some of Samoa Joe's more creative submission tactics, and the Bulgarian just hammering away on the Samoa submission machine. Remember, this is a submission match only. There are no countouts. There are no disqualifications. There are only yes, I quit. And that's the only way to defeat your opponent here. You have to defeat him by submission. And Rusev now going for the first submission of the match, driving the knee, but Joe countering out of it. Now Samoa Joe Irish whipped in the corner, and both men running into each other. It's like two trains clubbering each other. And Joe now with an inverted atomic drop on Rusev. That will change the tune of your existence for a few minutes, Hobo Nation. And Rusev, oh, a great hip toss. What a hard hip toss, driving the back of the neck down to the mat first with Samoa Joe. And now Samoa Joe with a Samoan drop, a big Samoan drop on the near 300-pound Rusev. Wow, great move here, and a gut-wrench suplex right off the apron. Samoa Joe now proving his dominance, showing his power against the large Rusev. And a neck vice applied by Samoa Joe. This is not the type of move that will get Rusev to tap. I don't think that's Joe's intent. Joe just wants to wear the big man down. And Rusev clubbing rights, breaking himself free of that hold. But the Samoan submission machine with a snap suplex, thinking quickly, moving quicker. Now Rusev Irish whipped into the corner. Oh, Irish whipped over the top rope and blocking that right by Joe and coming back with a forearm of his own and another club and a giant leaping side kick to the back of the head of Samoan Joe. And Rusev now going right back to work on the back and head of Samoan Joe, taking him back in that neck vice like maneuver there. And now Joe throwing Rusev over the top again, and Rusev able to counter with a middle rope enziguri. It looked like he caught Joe in the corner of the jaw. And Samoa Joe here, elbow smash to Rusev's giant cranium. Now a little boxing there from Samoa Joe, and Irish whip into the corner. Face first goes Rusev. Samoa Joe now running elbow smash and a leaping enziguri into the middle. Oh my gosh, to the back of his head, and he's going for it. He's going for a submission here. Samoa Joe going for a submission here on Rusev. He could dislocate Rusev's shoulder here. And Rusev powering out with that snapmare flip on Joe. And Joe an elbow smash to the sternum. And now Joe thrown over the top rope. And Joe down on the apron. Down on the apron there. And Rusev now hyping the crowd up, hyping himself up. Here he comes, the big Bulgarian bulldozer, down on the floor with Samoan Joe. And they're going to put the hurting on each other. Oh, guess not. Rusev was like, fuck this, let's go back in the ring. He's crazy out here, we go in the ring. Yes, good. That's what I heard Rusev say. Alright, and now Rusev with a Tilt-Us World Slam on Samoan Joe. Wow. What a shot. And now Rusev's got him in the camel clutch. Rusev's got Samoa Joe in the camel clutch, but Joe able to slide out and face plant Rusev. Remember, that used to be one of Joe's big moves. He knows how to counter it. And Joe here going for a sleeper. Joe here going for the Kohina clutch. He's got the Kohina clutch locked on Rusev. Is Rusev going to be able to get out of it, or will Rusev tap? He can't go anywhere. He is trapped, but Rusev's able to power out those big elbows to the midsection. And Joe going for it again, going for another submission move here. Trying to break the shoulder, wrenching the neck of Rusev here. But Rusev powering out again with another snapmare takedown. Good wherewithal and wrestling technique there by Rusev. Rusev going right for the lower back and neck again of Joe. Again, weakening the body and back of Joe. Preparing him for that camel clutch submission that he loves to use so freaking much. There aren't other submission moves in the planet, Rusev. Learn another submission move. Nah, just a reverse chinlock there, Hobo Nation. Don't get too excited. It's a no-frills move. Samoa Joe ain't tapping out to that honky horse poo. Great match here. Remember, this is a submission-only match. A nice headbutt there on Samoa Joe by Rusev. Not stunning Joe at all. Joe's too hardcore to get stunned by something like that. And going for a headbutt of his own, but Rusev lifting the elbow up and an elbow right to the top and another side pickup slam on Samoa Joe. Joe's a little rocked here. Rusev stomping away and another stomp to the back. And Joe got him in the camel clutch this time. He's got that camel clutch sunk in. He's got it sunk in, and Joe has to tap. Joe has to tap here. Joe had to tap. Samoa Joe has tapped out to Rusev. Congratulations. What a big win there for Rusev Day. The Bulgarian bulldozer taking out the Samoa submission machine in a submission-only match. A great leaping enziguri there by Samoa Joe, but his offense was all for naught. And Rusev just locked it in, sunk in that camel clutch, and Samoa Joe had to tap out because there was nowhere to go for Joe. And that's the difference between half-assing that move and not half-assing it. When you got it sunk in, you can't get free. It's nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible to break out of that move. And I was just talking a whole load of honky horse poo, telling Rusev to learn a new move, and look what he did. He made one of the great submission wrestlers, Samoa Joe, tap out right here on the HWA House Show, Season 1, Episode 13. You saw it here. Congratulations to Rusev Day. Wow, what a victory for Rusev. And we want to thank you, Hobo Nation, for taking the time out of your day to enjoy the Hobo Wrestling Alliance House Show, Season 1, Episode 13. Remember, these house shows are meant to perpetuate storylines within the HWA, rivalries, and your overall enjoyment of the HWA Universe. Please leave a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, how you like the show, what we can do to improve. If you have a character, the HWA is still open for registration. Leave us your gamer tag exclusively on Xbox One, and we will download your honky ass, and you will debut. You will debut on one of the HWA house shows. It's been fun. It's been a raucous night here with some serious upsets. J-Fly's retaining the HWA Hardcore Championship. Dolph Ziggler taking out Snoop Dogg on his debut match with the Zigzag. The Shield ousting Rated RKO, keeping their #1 contender spot to the HWA tag titles. And Rusev defeating Samoa Joe in a submission-only match with the camel clutch. It's been a day of surprises here in the HWA. We appreciate you joining Sunburn City for the HWA House Show Season 1, Episode 13. See you tomorrow for Episode 14, Hobo Nation. Keep it moving.